John just informed me that he just got off the treadmill. That's the kind of inside information you get here at Preps Today with John Millea. So John usually puts the sweat equity into his work. Now he's just sweaty.
I'm a little sweaty, Jim. Yep, I try to do it every day. I got to do some weightlifting and some treadmill work, and I've got a little TV in front of my treadmill. I got all the niceties here at home, and sweat equity. Let's call it that. I'm an old man now. I got to fight this thing, and I'm working at it.
We're both old men, and I would just like to implore you, do a little work for me.
There you go.
Let's get to Preps Today with John Millea. John, of course, sports and activities writer guru at MSHSL.org. You can find his written work at John's Journal at MSHSL.org. You can find his spoken word artistry here at TalkNorth.com. Thanks so much for listening to TalkNorth.com. We do appreciate it. We've got a lot of great shows. We have the best sports lineup in town. Everybody from Russo to Krasinski to Mike Grimm to Jeff Diamond. Just check it all out. We do appreciate it. If you find a show you like this one, please subscribe to your favorite podcast app. It's free. It's the easiest way to listen. We're coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services Studios, and we are sponsored, as always, by Jody Stay's fine establishment, Pizza Barn in Princeton. Yes, it's in Princeton, Minnesota. That is not that far out of the metro, especially in the northwest quadrant. Head up there. The pizza's great. They have incredible, and John, as John always details, all the different varieties. They also have great gluten-free crust, which I really appreciate. And it's not just pizza. They have other options. It's a community asset. They take care of the people up there. Thanks, Jody. Let's start today's show with the Heart of the Arts Award.
Yeah, Jim, we're back at it here. You know, you referred to me as a guru. One other person in my life has referred to me as a guru. You're in good company. That was Bob McDonald.
Oh, wow.
The famous Chisholm. I got to know Bob really well. And he always, I'd call him on the phone, or he'd call me, or I'd be up in Chisholm, or I'd see him down here. And he said, "There's John. There's my guru." I don't know exactly what that meant, but you're in good company calling me a guru.
I am not worthy.
You're very worthy.
And guru is one of those words that it's one of those words that has eclipsed its dictionary definition. It's just kind of a vibe word, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Heart of the Arts. That's our first topic today. The Heart of the Arts Award. Every year, somebody who works at the Minnesota State High School selects a person, a team, a school as the recipient of the Heart of the Arts Award for Minnesota. I am that someone. It's an honor to do it and publicize these things. This program was started by the National Federation of State High School Associations. That's the national governing body. And I'm proud to do this for many years now. Every state is encouraged to find a Heart of the Arts Award winner. This year, it was pretty easy. Our winner is St. Michael Albertville High School for going above and beyond to help kids have a great time. A little less than a year ago, it was February 2024, there was a problem for 11 students at St. Michael Albertville. These kids were both in choir as well as theater, and there was a conflict. The choir of 70 or 80 kids had been invited to a choral directors conference in Omaha. The only Minnesota school invited, it was mostly college choirs that performed in a theater in front of hundreds of choir directors from high schools and colleges. So they're invited. It's a huge honor. Of course, they're going to go. Here's the problem. Later that same day is the one-act play festival. That's a high school league activity. That's in St. Paul. So of all these dozens and dozens of choir kids, 11 of them were also part of the one-act play. So clearly they're going to have to choose one or the other, right? Wrong. The school staff really came through. So it's actually 79 choir kids. So on a Thursday, those 79 kids and some chaperones and choir directors got on buses, rode to Omaha. Bright and early Friday morning, they're all up. They performed, I think, in the middle of the morning on Friday in Omaha. And the one-act play performance was going to be about 4 o'clock in St. Paul. So as soon as the choir performance is done, these 11 kids and a couple of chaperones, who I'll get to in a minute, race to the airport in Omaha, direct flight to Minneapolis. A bus from their school met them at the airport to take them over to O'Shaughnessy Auditorium at St. Catherine University in St. Paul. That's a short drive from the airport. The school district paid for these flights. The theater kids, this gets me still today. The theater kids were told they could not check any luggage for the flight, just to make sure there were no delays waiting for luggage. If there were things they couldn't take as a carry-on, hand it to your buddy who's coming home on the bus. And Keith Cornell, who's a great guy, he's on the high school league board of directors currently. He's the activities director at St. Michael, Albertville. Keith and his wife, Erin, they flew home with the kids, got them to College of St. Kate's, and everyone did a great job. So it's really a cool story of a school district and staff really coming through. So these kids got to take advantage of everything that was in front of them. And congrats to everybody at St. Michael, Albertville for being the Heart of the Arts Award winner.
I love that stuff. That's fantastic. All right, cool. Well, let's go on to another good topic. Let's go on to Hall of Famers.
Yep. Occasionally throughout the year, we have Hall of Fame announcements. This one's from the Minnesota Football Coaches Association. It's named its 2025 Hall of Fame class. I think maybe with one exception, I've talked to and interviewed and hung out with all these guys. The inductees for this year: Craig Anderson of Dilworth, Glendon, Felton, Clay Anderson of Kimball. I don't know if they're related. Andy Rosberg of Hutchinson. We all know Andy. Tom Schuler of Jackson County Central. I know Tom very well. And Dave Luzek of Moose Lake Willow River, another great guy, great coach. The induction ceremony will be held March 29th, so let's congratulate those Hall of Fame football coaches. And also in the realm of coaching, 2 girls basketball coaches just in the last week reached the 700 win plateau. That's a big, big number. Congrats to Aaron Herman of Hill Murray and Jeff Buffetta of Mountain Iron Buell on reaching 700 career wins.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of basketball.
No doubt. All right, let's get a coaching update.
Yeah, and more coaching news here. I wrote last week about I went to a boys basketball game between Hopkins and Wayzata. They're ranked second and third in Class 4A behind Cretin-Durham Hall. In fact, we're talking on Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to go watch Cretin-Durham Hall at Park tonight, so I will have seen the top 3 teams in 4A boys basketball. So this was a great game. Hopkins at Wayzata, a great rivalry. Here's something to keep an eye on. I mentioned Bob McDonald. Ken Novak Jr., the Hopkins coach, he, barring something weird, he's going to bypass Bob McDonald's career record for boys basketball coaching wins. This kind of snuck up on me. I knew it was possible. I don't think I'd looked at the numbers for a couple of years. So Hopkins lost to Wayzata in that game. Just a heck of a game. I wrote about it on John's Journal at MSHSL.org. Hopkins and Wayzata, they'll meet once more in the regular season. They're both in the Lake Conference, and almost assuredly they'll play in the section championship game. Only one of those teams is going to go to state. So as of last week's game with Wayzata, Ken Novak had 980 career wins. That's 32 away from Bob McDonald's 1,012. Ken is 68 years old. He's in good health. He loves what he's doing. He's retired from teaching. And as we know, the Hopkins boys and the Hopkins girls, they always win a lot of basketball games. So he's, basically 30 away from Bob's record. I'm not saying that's going to happen next year, but it could. But I think within a couple of years, Ken will bypass Bob McDonald. And I've talked to Ken many times, and I've brought this up frequently in recent years, and he always says, I don't even care about that kind of stuff. But you know what? Of course he does. We all care about that kind of stuff. So I'd be surprised if he got within 20 or 10 wins of Bob and decided to retire. Of course, I've been surprised before, but we'll keep an eye on that as we continue down this road.
Cool stuff. Up ahead, we will thank a ref. We'll get a girls wrestling update, and we'll get the MSHSL's most valuable teammate for this week. First, though, I want to remind you, we're coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services Studios, and we want to hear more about Jody Stay's Pizza Barn in Princeton.
Yeah, always a lot going on at the Pizza Barn. They're busy. They're smart. They serve that community, like you said, Jim. And Valentine's Day is coming up. So, guys, let's get a head start. The Pizza Barn is offering Valentine's specials, special treat boxes that you can pre-order now to pick up February 13th through the 15th. And yes, they will have heart-shaped pizzas. starting February 1st through the 14th. Like I said, come on, guys, let's don't mess this up. Let's do this. I struggle sometimes with this kind of stuff. I'm doing my best. And the Pizza Barn has had a long, great relationship with Big Boar Barbecue Company in Hanover. They're now offering Big Boar bourbon sauce. You can get a side for dunking, or have your bone-in or boneless wings covered in that delicious Big Boar bourbon sauce. And as always, the buffet Monday through Friday from 11:30 to 1:30 is great. Lots of choices. This week, if you walk in there on Thursday, you're going to get some tater tot hot dish. That's a fabulous deal. Thanks again to Jody Stay and everybody at the Pizza Barn in Princeton. They'll take great care of you. You'll have a meal to remember in a very friendly and comfortable setting.
Yep. Thank you, Jody. And now let's thank somebody else. Let's thank a ref.
Yeah, we're going to thank a couple of coaches and a ref, and they're all related. My buddy Jeremy Millsop up at the Brainerd Dispatch, he tweeted something pretty cool. He was at a swim meet involving Sartell at Brainerd. So the two head coaches are siblings. Hannah Nelson is the Sartell coach. Josh McKeague is the Brainerd coach. Here's the kicker. The official for this meet was their mom, Heidi. So as Jeremy put it, quote, there shouldn't be any shenanigans. Way to go, coaches. Way to go, mom. That's really cool. That's a great family night there.
Good stuff. Yes. Let's get something I'm glad you included in this week's show, the girls wrestling update.
Yeah, we talked at length last week, Jim. I talked about how my hometown newspaper in Iowa was reprinting a long article I wrote about wrestling, my memories of boys wrestling in Iowa, what we're seeing now. And the team from my little high school has kids wrestling who are the granddaughters of guys I grew up with. And last week there was a pretty cool girls wrestling event here. The sport just continues to grow. New things come along. So last week, the first girls dual state championship meet was held. This was sponsored by the Minnesota Wrestling Coaches Association. On the high school league side of it, we don't have a team competition for girls wrestling like we've had with the boys, at section and state forever. That's going to come. And the high school league will do that as the number of girls and the number of teams continues to explode here. But it's really neat that the Wrestling Coaches Association lined up this big dual tournament, and a lot of teams, a lot of kids got to wrestle in a format the girls aren't necessarily used to. So congrats to everybody there. We're going to keep our eye on girls wrestling because it is really a big story.
Yes, no doubt about it. All right, let's wrap up this week's show with our most valuable teammate. I shouldn't say our most valuable teammate, your most valuable teammate.
Well, the Minnesota State High School League's most valuable teammate. Kayleen Fong is a junior at Mung College Prep Academy who stays busy with soccer, basketball, and badminton. Kayleen's a big supporter of her teammates and her school. She arrives early for practice and games to help others get ready, doesn't leave until everybody has been picked up and taken home. During games, she's focused on winning and on how her team is feeling. And after games, she goes out of her way to speak to every player and coach on the other team to tell them they did well. Congrats to Kayleen Fong of Mung College Prep on being named a most valuable teammate.
Excellent. Great stuff from John as always. Remember, we have the best sports lineup in town. Krasinski, Russo, LaPanta, Gorg, Mike Grimm, Jeff Diamond, John Millea. The list goes on and on. Bar Down Beauties, Kevin Gorg, outdoor content, and we keep growing it, and we can only grow it because we have listeners like you. We do appreciate it. So again, thanks to John Millea. Again, remember to subscribe, and we will talk to you next week.